Go for it.
Yeah, we're going for it. Hello, everybody. Ladies Wot Pod, episode 49. And I think now, actually, I think I've missed the anniversary of our start. I think it was this week, last week. Anyway, it's been a year of doing this. Yeah. But we're going to celebrate our half century next week. So I think we can celebrate a year and a half century. Because are we
doing something exciting, like having a drink or something? No.
Ooh, well, you're celebrating with your mum, so you're having one hell of a celebration this week.
Oh, even more than that. It's wedding anniversary tomorrow.
But grief, it's non-stop. It's party central. Perhaps we ought to say
central in this house. Oh, yes. Who are you? Who are you? That's a very good question. My name is Liz Saunders. I am chairman of the Saint Supporters Club. I am a general rugby nose geek, whatever, and I actually pushed some camera buttons on. Well, they were on a phone on Saturday. That's
Very
it.
Good.
Normally, I don't. Normally, I just verbal. But
no. And I'm Claire Jones, and I have dried out. Thank you to everybody who was worried about me drowning on Saturday. More of that shortly. I'm Claire Jones. I'm on the edge of the fens, a rather wet set of fens, as we said. Though I hear Northampton's quite damp at the minute.
Oh, it's very damp. And further excitement is we had our septic tank emptied today because we know how to live.
You just don't know what to do with yourself, do you? Well, I don't have a septic tank, and it hasn't been emptied.
Very civilised.
Said already, I am Claire Jones, and I do wear a red hat. Although, I think we need to acknowledge we've just had a conversation that says Coventry rugby people are really, really nice, aren't they?
Lovely people.
Lovely people. Really good supporters, very knowledgeable crowd. And this is the hat that they gave me. But do you remember when all my gear was stolen in London a couple of years ago? And the next match that Bedford were playing was against Coventry, and they said to cheer me up, they bought me a pink hat, which I thought was very nice. But that sort of sums up what sort of club they are. Very friendly, very approachable, good community club. Playing some good rugby. Top of the championship.
Very good rugby. Very good rugby.
Yep.
But it was bloody wet. It was so wet. I think I ran through wetter than a haddock swimming costume, Otter's pockets, everything. Well, Lord. I was waiting for the ark to appear. Could have been launched from the clubhouse.
So, for those of you that weren't there, I don't think the highlights really show the half of it. So Saints played into the wind in the first half, and Lewis Dean, the videographer, seemed okay. He did look like an Eskimo in his little hood, but he seemed quite happy with the world because he wasn't getting too wet. And I went, Lewis, the wind is going that way. And he went, yeah. That means the rain's coming straight at you in the second half. He looked miserable,
and it was.
Lewis. It was coming straight at us. Unlike the Irish cameraman at Munster, who swore through the entire second half at Toneham Park, Lewis just went he's not very talkative at the best of times.
No, he's not very chatty. Yeah.
No, because he concentrates on the work at hand. He was not a happy camper. Not a happy camper.
It was awful. It really was awful because we were standing behind the posts in the second half, and we got an umbrella. We got a couple of umbrellas between us, and at one point, the umbrella owner went off to go to the loo, so left me in charge of the umbrella. Well, I had to put it down. I nearly Mary Poppins over the car park. It was So trying to get people going, come to the front so you can see. No, I don't want to come to the front. I'm here. I'm vaguely sheltered behind people. I can peer around and see. I don't want to come to the front. It was horrible.
So does this explain this photo?
I don't know which photo is that. Yes, there she is. No, I don't think. No, that was before I was fighting with an umbrella. But it could well have been.
Let me dream. Those of you on Spotify, you have to come and look at the YouTube because it's Dowse.
You do.
and Kev Buckby, and it's one of those caption competition moments where I'm doing it again. I'm using my mouse in the wrong place. Look at the surprise on Kev's face. He's seen
yeah. Yeah, that could well have been me floating off over the car park.
If you're not careful, we'll lose her over that fence, says Dowse. Anyway, yes. But any idea for captions, do put them in the comments below.
Yes, please do. Send us some suggestions.
Yeah, there aren't any prizes, just for the fun of it. So, yes. So have a look, for those of you on Spotify, have a look at the little video on the side. And those of you on Apple Podcasts, you're going to have to look at YouTube. Right. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You gave me that line. I was going to use it.
I know. That was brilliant.
We had a strong team. We had a strong team out on Saturday, didn't we?
We did.
And so it was obviously Sean of the internationals, bar one. Bar one, which of course was Hutch. It was good to have Hutch back.
Lovely boy.
He is, and he played well.
He did
in horrific conditions, not perfect percentage. Did you notice that our lads kept slipping on the turf?
Yeah,
there were a lot of people falling over. I think they thought they needed to wear short studs. I don't know. I'd love to know the science involved, that maybe they should have been wearing longer studs, because we did suffer from players falling over a lot. It was
Henry Pollock fell over quite spectacularly at one point. That's not like Henry. He doesn't. No, he has a very
Mr. Dependable went flying a few times.
Yeah.
So something going on there. And of course, I think Coventry were at full strength, or full available strength. So there were one or two Saints old boys. Notable, of course, Aaron Hinkley, who was named man of the match. I mean, Aaron played well.
I don't agree with that.
But there was really only one man of the match on that pitch.
Matt Kvesic was just everywhere.
Even if Central Milton Keynes wanted to, Craig Maxwell Keys wanted to strangle him at one point. But he was very restrained.
I was going to say, I think that's probably a badge of honour, really.
I've got a fantastic photograph of him lecturing Mr. Kvesic, anyway. And of course, Tommy Matthews, who for a while was in our academy as a fly half. And as I said to you earlier, he will not want to see that sidestep from our George.
Yeah, we did think that we may have to set up because I am training as a Samaritan. I could set up a Hendy victim support group with this training and I think we'd have Simon Zebo as chairman, possibly.
Yeah, for all those who've suffered at the
trying to tackle the man with his legs.
Hendo's legs going in the wrong way. Yes. And lost. Yes. Simon definitely would either be president or chairman. Yes. I think Tommy Matthews would definitely be on the committee.
Definitely.
But there are others who, over the years.
Some Bath players must be in that mix as well, I think. But
yes, been bamboozled by,
bendy legs.
So as you and Laura were discussing, you seem to have moved on that his legs are on the wrong way, his arms aren't looking too good, and his head's not.
I think on that photograph, look.
He's a complete midfield, according to you two.
You know those toys that you used to get that was sort of they're banned now, that were just wire with rubber wrapped around them. I remember having a noddy one that you could pull the limbs in all sorts of directions. Well, on that photograph that's on Facebook, that's what he looks like.
What would you like? I can, for those of you who haven't seen Facebook, because not everybody is a Facebook.
Need to show it.
I will show George. Trying to rescue, actually succeeding. That was the arms and legs going in the wrong way. He actually succeeded. So hold on, I'm making a complete cod's ear of this. Here we go.
Cod's ear. Cod's ear. Cod's have ears.
Yes. Here we go. Here is George. Here is George. It started off like this, and he spots the ball. There we go. Yeah. There is George.
Oh, yes. There. Yeah. I mean, look at that.
The ball. Quick! I must catch it, or at least do something with it.
That's the photograph. That's the one. That's just nothing. Nothing. No human should be able to get into that position.
If your toddler walked into the kitchen with one of those, you'd be faintly worried, wouldn't you? Sorry.
Oh, George, you know we love you, but even your mother joined in.
Yes. Yes. So, and George had a very good game. He scored a fabulous try. So that's, we might as well get that out of the way.
There he is.
This young man, if we charged him 50p every time he swore, blimey, I'd be worth a fortune. Effing and jeffing throughout the entire game. It's their scrum half.
More sweary than Lewis was.
More sweary than Lewis was, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, so well done, George.
To be fair, I think quite a lot of us were effing and jeffing on Saturday afternoon because it was, I mean, we may have mentioned, but it was less than clement weather, really.
It was less than clement weather. I don't think he was effing and jeffing about the weather. I think he was effing and jeffing about the defence and the referee. More, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Having said that, I was impressed with our defence. We let them get too much ground, but once they got into the 22, they were not getting past.
No, it was really, really good defence. I mean, there were one or two. There was a bit of rustiness for some players. Joano clearly hadn't played for a few weeks and was a bit rusty. But and to come into a game with conditions like that, I mean, the ball was a bar of soap, so he's carrying into some pretty heavy traffic. But I can't imagine he would have been too pleased with some of the results of his carries. The person that I thought had a most remarkable comeback, given how many weeks he's been out, was Tom Lockett. He was everywhere. Now, he did tell me he was going to shave his tash off, if you remember. Now, I don't know whether he's shaved it off now because he's actually played.
Yeah.
But the tash was definitely there. But he was immense. The line-out was absolutely secure. Carrying the ball forward. I mean, he looked like he was happy.
He was back. He was back and happy. He's so very tall, isn't he? So very ridiculous.
Yes. There's no. I almost reminded him of his comment at Scotstoun because, of course, he played in the deluge at Scotstoun.
He did.
When he and Mooney tried to persuade me that the weather had improved over the previous day, as I looked out to the, you know when it's really wet, when the weather is coming down in sheets, you can see the stripes of rain across the pitch. Yes. So I nearly mentioned that to him, but I thought that was a bit harsh, given he was.
No, so I took a photo of him and his mum and dad, and I said, well, this will be from an unusual angle for you three. Don't normally have your photograph taken by a gnome.
Yes. Sorry, Kerry, that I shot past. I may have been smiling. I think by the time I got to the car, it was more of a grimace. Yes. You get cold so quickly because, of course, your adrenaline's pumping during the game. And then afterwards, he's like, "Oh, actually, I'm really quite uncomfortable now. Can I stop it?" So, and the heated seats get you so far, but there just comes a point when you just want to get home. But I thought Tom was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. Mr. Seabrook played with a smile on his face for the entire game.
Oh, that was nice. Is he some sort of
very smiley?
Masochist? How could you be? He wasn't smiling. That must have been a grimace, surely, in that weather. Had he grouted his teeth or something? Why would you? No.
Yeah. Mr. Dependable was incredibly busy. He had to put some big carries in midfield. So yes, it was one of those games that you knew because of the weather, it was never going to be a feast of flowing rugby. I thought Coventry fought hard, But I think they were undone by their own inaccuracy. They got a bit overexcited, particularly at line-outs on our 5 metre line. They just got a bit overexcited. And
I think the strength of our bench. I was going to say, I think the strength of our bench as well was what did for them. I mean,
Curtis came on.
Curtis. It was like a cage. What's the name? Wasn't he?
And there's one bit where he's having there's a photograph where he's having a really intense conversation with Big Trev, who's looking at him like, "It's peeling it down with rain, Curtis. Is now the time?"
Well,
I would just turn around and face the scrum, and we can get on with this. Yeah.
We were watching the substitutes, the bench, the impact players, whatever we call them, warm up, and 2 things. Other people are saying, "Oh, cheer up, Curtis. There's pikelets in this for you." No, not unless you're prepared to cook them. You don't know. Sorry. What the hell's going on
your services? That's brilliant.
People we know. People we know.
Not random strangers.
Not random people, but that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, because at least 2 people went, "Oh, hello, Liz," and I'm thinking, I have no idea who you are, but it was very nice, thank you. And then so there was that, but also Charlie Zavala. Well, blimey, he did not. No, he looked like we felt. We went, "Well, cheer up, Charlie. You know, we feel your pain," which made him smile a bit. And then we went, "And at least you can have a hot bath and a change of clothes. We've got to travel home like this," which made him smile.
Having seen the changing room, it wasn't the most...
No, but to be honest, just the chance to get out for your wet clothes and a rub down with a rough rag would have been enough, wouldn't it? Really? Yes. Yeah.
But it was...
So we did smile.
It was bijou and steamy. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And I think we also pointed out to Charlie that we'd paid, that we'd actually paid too. So I think he got the message that he needed to look a bit happier.
Thinking, look, I came down from Edinburgh to escape this nonsense.
No. That was
all going to follow. So it was a 4-point win. Coventry didn't get anything out of the game because we kept the score at 9 points difference. So it's a good win. The next game in the Premiership Rugby Cup is at Welford Road on the 1st of February. And then it's Coventry at the Gardens, where I've got lots of people coming to the game. My friends from Arizona, Gary and Becky, are coming over specifically for the game. They have booked their flights for this game. So they're very excited about it. They know they're not going to see the internationals, but they met quite a few of the guys when they went to a game at Saracens. But it's about the Gardens experience for them. So they're flying all the way from Arizona because they want to go to a game at the Gardens. And then they're going to some photography show in London. So, so they'll be there. And Miss J is gracing us with her presence as well. So I think that Coventry game is going. And then we get to go to Lady Bay. We do on Valentine's night. Yeah, how I am tempted. I know. I'm looking because on Saturday I wandered past the bottom of the pitch and there was this sort of tent type thing, posh tent with glass, and there were a whole load of people that we know eating inside the posh tent, and I felt like a very poor relative. I was trying to do a sort of like. I was like a Garfield stuck, and they some of them were nice and said hello, and others just told me to go away, which I thought was very rude and will not be forgotten. And I'm thinking, should we look at, is there hospitality or hostility at Lady Bay, I wonder? Yes, it's the equivalent tent at the far end. There is the equivalent tent at the far end. It was underwater. I hope it hasn't flooded again, because if you remember last year they had to have a whip round because Lady Bay was under 6 foot of water. Yeah. So no, it's I think the only thing I would change at Coventry is the PA. Bless his cottons. Pete could coach him a bit.
Yeah, could learn from Pete. I did think that at one point. What are you doing?
However, his choice in music was such, before the game particularly. No, half time, raindrops keep falling on my head.
And singing in the rain. I thought was very funny.
Rain. Do you mind? Really? No, it was the PA at Rodney Parade did that in that famous hailstorm. Anyway,
the hailstorm. George
clearly knows his 60s classics, George Hendy, because he was singing along to them as he was warming up.
Very good.
Very good. Anyway, so it was a good win. It was a good day out. Despite the weather, I think everybody enjoyed themselves. So thank you, Coventry Rugby, for looking after us so well. Good luck in the championship. I hope Alex Ray and Nick Johnston and their charges, go well.
Yeah, and look forward to meeting you again in February.
Yes,
Merry Christmas.
When I can give back my bib, I forgot because. I'm a naughty girl. So for those of you on Spotify again, and you need to be on YouTube to see this. Now look, talk about optimism.
that was designed for somebody not quite of your
I think
dimensions.
Designed for somebody of about aged 8. So when the woman handed it over, she said, "Oh, we do want you to put it over your head," and I went. Right. I said, am I wearing it as a scarf? So I will be giving it back. I'll give it back to the media manager when they come in February. Anyway, yes. So, meanwhile, at the Gardens, I believe the weather was similarly
it was the same everywhere, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they won!
They did. So pleased for them. So they promised me they would.
I've gone completely off kilter here. No.
Oh,
We haven't done the Ladies Wot Pod Player of the match or the Sgt Wilson. What am I doing? Much as we are celebrating the Derby win for the African Violets. Come on. Ladies Wot
Player of the match. Oh, dear. Well, obviously, George, because of that ridiculous try, which is just ridiculous. Mr. Dependable did well. I thought Tom Pearson. I thought that, to be honest, they all played really well. But we did have this discussion before we came on. I think I agree with you to come back from injury for such a long layoff, play the full 80 minutes in those conditions, look like he's having a ball. Tom Lockett has to be.
Congratulations, Tom. You are the Ladies Wot Pod Player of the Match. Outstanding performance in horrific conditions against a feisty old pack. They didn't mind putting it about.
Yeah. Well, it proper Coventry pack that was.
Yeah, it is.
Always,
they were always famed for their forwards. So, well done.
Yeah.
So well done. Now,
Sgt Wilson Award. Well, there was a valiant attempt coming off the bench by our, he's won it before, and our usual Curtis chatting away politely to CMK.
I don't think the referee was being singled out for particular.
Well, no, he did. He's very good, but it's when you see a referee trying to run away from it, go away! Don't talk to me anymore.
And Big Trev trying to act as translator. We're in for hiding.
So valiant attempt, but because to be honest, I was so busy trying not to get rain in my eye, I missed quite a lot of what was going on. But you think for the third time, I believe he'll have won this award this season.
Yeah, record breaking. Only the person the thing is named after is one more. Chunya Munga. And complete with hand gestures. So if Sir wasn't, closing the gap, we had full,
Yes, they're closing the gap.
Closing the gap.
Closing the gap.
Yeah, closing, just in case Mr.
Closing the gap. closing the
Closing
gap.
the gap.
How many
And
ways?
then what happened?
Closing the
Sod's
gap.
Law, 2 line-outs later, he did us for closing the gap. Anyway, so...
Always. Be careful what you wish for.
A little glint in his eye. But no, I thought Chunya was really good.
Yeah.
I thought... Henry, of course, ended up in a melee in the corner.
Of course he did.
His arm just went out and escorted his colleague. Like, you know, just excuse me, I have something to do here. Yeah.
Stand back.
No, Chunya, I thought, and of course he has to run miles a lot of the time if it's in midfield to find out what's going on. I think Mr. Kvesic could take a few lessons from, Chunya, because at no stage did Mr. Maxwell Keys look frustrated or, fed up with talking to Chunya. He was quite happy to have the discussion about what was going on. So well done, Chunya. I think you managed the ref really well. There was one priceless moment which I didn't capture, unfortunately. I didn't respond fast enough, which is when Big Trev in the first scrum after he came on, it went down and Craig Maxwell Keys did him. And the look on Big Trev's face of not again. We are not going through Bristol again.
Again, yeah.
And after that, it seemed to be sorted. It was like, okay, all right. Yes. Yes, the icy stare from our Geordie representative.
Was it like a proper Paddington Hard stare?
Oh, it was proper. He was pretending to sort out his shirt, but he was staring at Sir with that sort of what?
Or possibly something the Geordie equivalent of
the
what?
Geordie equivalent. Yes. Yes. So well done, Chunya. Yes, and as I say, I think we've had a good 3 games at the Premiership Rugby Cup.
I think there's a lot of our players have learnt a huge amount from those games. I think it's been really beneficial to us.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Nottingham one where we had to come from behind. It's always good practice, but and those so young. Just while I think about this.
No, don't go there too soon. You're not going to talk about Mr. B, are you?
Okay, what? Save it. Remind me when we get there.
Speaking of so young, what I haven't mentioned, and I wasn't sure where to mention it, was Henry and Archie's appearance with Tristan Natras on the Saints show last week.
Oh yes. Oh wow!
And Graham's running joke that their combined ages was still less than Lenny.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
I said probably less than Graham. Let's be honest.
Yes. I thought you said, he thinks he protests too much. You're quite right.
Yeah.
That. So it was Henry talking to Tristan about wheelchair rugby, and bear in mind Tristan had been in the DPP, in the player development programme at Saints, until he had a horrific injury. He had a stroke in his spine.
Spinal stroke.
And it was I had tears rolling down my face listening. I'm sure Henry didn't mean to make anybody cry, but I just got very emotional listening to a young man talk to another young man about their sports. Because Tristan is a really talented wheelchair rugby player. He's really good. But he's only been playing a year. And the sport, I always say it, wheelchair rugby changes lives because it has to. It gives them back so much. And he's a really talented athlete. But listening to Archie, of course, was going, I've played it.
I heard that.
But listening to Henry talk to, it was a really, really lovely conversation. And
I think
I'd love to see Henry in a sports wheelchair, because it would be very. It was the idea that you could fly out the chair that seemed to appeal to Henry. And they do, ladies and gentlemen. Just ask Phil Guttridge.
Yes. Yeah, but he does that when he's just watching a game.
Well, that's
so
true.
that's not
true.
really a yardstick to measure by. I what what I got from that particularly was the respect between the three of them.
Yeah.
Just was so, and I we keep hearing about, oh, well, Henry is this talent, got to manage him. We haven't got to manage him. He's basically a lovely, respectful, polite young man who he has attitude. Plays in the back row. He has to have attitude, but it doesn't translate into real life.
Yeah, and of course Tristan played number 8 as well. So he was also a back rower. So it was 2 back rowers talking about sport, and it was, ladies and gentlemen, listen to last week's Saint show. It was a really, really special moment. Really good on the show. Really, really good. I mean, 2 of our youngest players really, did a cracking job, as did our youngest player in the wheelchair rugby team, Tristan. Cracking. Well done.
Well worth a listen. Yeah.
Definitely worth a listen. And well done, Graham. Graham, who was texting my husband, we were trying to measure up for a new kitchen, and we get the question, how many games did Saints play against Coventry between 18 whatever and 1895, of course, when the records were burnt? And I'm thinking, no, don't knock his concentration. We're getting close to decision time, but could he resist?
Yeah, no, we don't need.
No, we have no. Anyway, I can't remember. That was 9, I think, was the answer.
I was going to say, historian, heal thyself, I feel, is the reply.
No, I'm not choosing me kitchen, which we did, ladies and gentlemen. No, anyway, him.
Graham. Yes. I mean, that should have been yeah.
Yes. Anyway, because I think it's Coventry. We played the 3rd most number of times after Leicester and Bedford.
Yeah, well, they're the closest, aren't they? Really, would make sense.
Does make sense, yeah. So, talking of Leicester.
Yes, back to where we were before we forgot that we'd forgotten to do. Remembered that we'd forgotten to do something. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so Lightning. So the girls, they because the weather was it was snowing. That was right, Thursday. So they couldn't train at Loughborough. So they were training in the barn after the walking rugby. So I had a quick chat and said, "Could you do the biz?" And they did. And they're so much fun. They are so funny, those ladies. So well done to them. They got the bonus
the new American Sevens.
The new American, yes. Yeah. Quite a personality, that young lady. Yeah, quite a live wire. But I believe they got the bonus point sewn up before half time, I believe. So
yeah. No, they had a cracking game. And Miss Scarrett was herring about the place. So yes, brilliant win. And just what they needed. Really just what they needed. Really good, Philip. And I noticed that
shame.
Nelly is now co-captain. Our mate Nelly is now co-captain.
Oh, our mate Nelly's that's brilliant.
Yeah. Obviously with Daisy.
Such a shame that it was pitted against the match at Coventry. Such a shame.
We had last week, and thank you again to Bobby Bridge, who came on to last week's pod. We have given him the job of sorting out the schedule, because it's ridiculous how many clashes there are, because there were a lot of us at the game at Coventry who really wanted to go and support the girls play in the derby, and you just can't do both. We have got a couple of weekends coming up where they don't clash, thank God. Well, actually, no. Yeah. Let's be clear. No, some of us aren't going to South Africa. So we're going to go support Lightning, and then the weekend after that, I think it's the Quins game, which is it's the Quins game when they're in South Africa. It's Gloucester Hartbury that doesn't clash. The Castor game's on the Saturday, Gloucester Hartbury's on the Sunday. So that's
the 7th.
Yeah,
the weekend of the 7th.
That's the first European weekend.
Brilliant.
And then,
that's right.
And then we can go and support the women on the Sunday, which is perfect. I realise they don't want to do a double header all the time, but come on, schedulers, be kind.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us who want to support both teams. Now, and then the Blues. Woof! Oh. What an amazing performance from our friends at Goldington Road with a few Saints lads who were there as well. Nathan was very excited when I saw him earlier in the week. Yeah, very excited. Bit disappointed I wasn't going to be there. But as I said to him, I can't be in two places at once, Nathan.
Well, I think it shows a distinct lack of ambition there, Mrs. Jones.
I know. One day I'll work it out. It was 0-0 at half time. Now, I was trying to remember the last time I saw a 0-0 match. I can't think. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to tell us in the comments, I couldn't think of one. But it was 0-0 at half time. And I think Blues went into the lead and then narrowly lost it. They ran out of steam a bit. Narrowly lost it 7-21. Now, the thing to note is that Bath put 73 points on Ampthill the week before.
Yeah.
So it is a remarkable performance from the Blues lads. They shoved it up them, as they say. So well done, guys. I'm sure you'd like to have won, but I think Championship Rugby had a good weekend.
I think they did. Yeah.
I think you and I really enjoy watching Champ Rugby. It's different.
Love it.
I do wish they sort out their lights collectively, though. Anyway.
Oh, it was grim. Maybe they could have asked us all with mobile phones. Maybe we could have, done.
It wasn't helped by the weather, which made it even grimmer.
No.
No. I mean, the noise in my photos is something to behold. Anyway, now there's a couple of games that we do want to talk about that outside of our three usual teams. The first one happened on Friday. For those of you,
it Friday night. Yeah.
Also in the Premiership Rugby Cup. The game of the round was Gloucester versus Exeter Chiefs. And, well... what was occurring?
Yeah.
Yeah. So both teams put out very strong sides. Obviously, the Gloucester was shorn of their two Welsh halfbacks, but I don't think they've had a great autumn either. I don't think that wasn't where their problems lay anyway. From what I could see, it was. No. I mean, it's sad. I would feel very sad for those that are in the Gloucester and Exeter Academy that they haven't had their chance to come through.
Yeah,
they haven't.
Yeah.
Basically, Baxter and Skivington have played almost full-strength teams all the way through in order to get some sort of traction back into their season. It may have worked for Mr. Baxter. I don't think it's worked for Mr. Skivington.
Well, I was going to say, because they were humiliated by Exeter, I feel, on Friday night.
Yeah.
It was so one-sided. It was
very strange. Yeah. Very, very strange. And I can't imagine TNT Sports thought that was the game that they were going to see. But,
no.
Yes.
Just hope there isn't a backlash next Saturday. But,
well, who knows?
I don't. Who knows? Yeah. We will see. We will see. But it was fairly grim. And then let's put that one away.
Before we mention England, I am going to a little shout out to our favourite Scottish prop, Elliot. So Elliot wasn't in the match day 23, but he wasn't released either. So
no, I was perplexed by that.
Yes. So Elliot, come home. And we love you. Yes.
And England. Talk about coming home and we love you, England players. Just come home now. We want you home where you belong, so you can look happy again.
Yes.
Rather than not.
Anyway, so I think Ollie's now. So TNT were trying to sort of create a bit of a fracas around the Sly Room Christmas table, and Ollie was not falling for that one. Probably because Frankie would duff him up anyway. Can you imagine that table, Mr. Angry? Yes. Anyway, so Ollie's try was beautifully taken, and you just think how many times they practiced that at the Gardens. It was, it's classic vesty cleverness, as was that
the try of the series.
Try of the series, that gorgeous pass behind the back from Fremo to Ferbs. It was just, and you could in your head you could swap out the scene of Twickenham and just see pitch 2 at the Gardens.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that, play as you see it, and he did, and it came off because he just. And again, it goes back to what we were talking about with Bobby last week: the trust that they'll be there, that your mate will be there, and it was there, and Finn coming on proved what everybody had been saying. Everybody bar the coaching team of England, saying, why isn't Finn not playing? And Finn came on, and it moved into a different gear in terms of, even though it was against Japan, it moved in terms of controlling the game and pulling it hither and yon. Finn did what we know Finn does. So well done, Finn. Nearly got man of the match coming on as a replacement, which I think is impressive. But
TNT were that impressed with him that they named him in his honourable mention, in the honourable mentions, that he'd made such a significant difference. And he had, yes, it was against a tiring team that's only got 200 caps and all the other excuses, but you can only play what's in front of you. And the difference he made was extraordinary. Yes.
Just think that difference could have been there against a team that wasn't only 200 caps and drop goal, last minute drop goals under stressful situations
at the same ground.
Anyway, let's just move on but actually, whilst we're talking about England, not a Saints player, but something that had been quite rightly flagged up, I think, in the Telegraph, can't remember, but I agree. Why the hell play Tom Curry in that game? Why? The man was out for the count 2 weeks ago. Why risk him? Why? Just why?
Several concussions. So TNT had a game try. Mr. Flatman, I think, was. We don't know what medically was going on with Tom. No, we don't. But what we do know, what has happened to him, we didn't need to risk him. It wasn't the all-important game. We'd have learnt something from playing, a Tom Willis, a Tom Pearson. In fact, the soup kitchen queue of flankers that we have in this sodding country.
Called Tom. Let's narrow it down and just look at the ones called Tom.
Queue called Tom. So Tom could have replaced Tom if you were worried about names. It just didn't make sense. So, it was a game try, Flats, but actually it wasn't worth risking him. He's had that, awful hip injury that they're having to manage. So, he's a player that is important to the squad. Why risk him? We need him in the situations. So play somebody else. But anyway.
Try somebody else and see what they're like, because we can see that Tom Curry is, he's got issues that are having to be managed. That might have to be permanently managed. So let's succession plan. Let's try. And that game, we should have been trying all sorts of people.
And if you're worried about
Henry Slade,
somebody called Curry, you've got Ben. I mean,
Yeah.
It was all a bit
and really, Henry Slade. I've loved watching Henry Slade over the years. I'm just going to leave that there because I think that's all that needs to be said.
Anyway, England players, come home.
Come home. Yeah. So there we are. So, no toaster minis or juniors. They very sensibly looked at the weather and went, no, we don't want to put children off rugby for life.
Or lose somebody over the fence.
Lose somebody. Oh, dear God, it was awful here yesterday morning. So very wisely, there was none. And walking rugby, the excitement of sharing the. I say excitement.
You're now
excitement.
Internationals. This is getting a bit.
I know. For some of us, it was excitement. For others of us, it was fear. The IT department. Those women. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, if Laura Keats had rushed up to him to tackle him, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah. So Walking Rugby, and so we've got an upcoming fixture against Brackley, I think. I don't think that's this week. I think it's the following week. Yeah, that's good. It's all good. All good. My rehab, as we like to call it, is coming on in leaps and bounds. I got quite a gold star from our physio.
But very good. Very good.
Somehow he's managed to negotiate that when I feel I'm nearly back to full fitness, I make him a cake. I don't quite. I think this was mooted at a point. There's a point in your physio session where pain is being inflicted, isn't there?
Yeah, and you'll negotiate your way out of it. Yes, yes.
Agree to anything. Yeah, I think it was possibly at that point. So
yeah. Well, he's a very good physio, is Mr. Daggett. So we are very lucky to have him. Even if he wants, like they all do, they want cake.
They do. They want cake and eat it. So that's. I think that kind of rounds it off, doesn't it? Because talking about physio, you've got to go to your physio.
I'm all right for a bit. I'm going to go to mine. My online with my elastic band. If the players, if anyone's ever seen a player stretching before a game, Dinger's is probably the best exponent of this. And Dinger's stretching is the same that Dr. Jones has to do. And now I'm having to do it. And I'm thinking, how does he actually manage to get his body into that shape? Because mine doesn't look anything like that.
No, there's two reasons. Number one, he's a professional athlete. And number two, he's 20-something. And neither of those apply to you, Mrs. Jones.
No. Put it this way, it's like, it's just not happening. No, it's not happening. But it's all good fun. It is all good fun, and things that didn't used to move are moving slightly better now. So it's obviously working.
Yeah.
So this
I've got to do a sort of sideways crab thing in a Johnny Wilkinson position, and with a band round my ankle.
Oh, you do that one, do you? And when you stick your bum, you have to bend your knees and go sideways. Ah, yes.
Yeah, demented crab. Yeah.
Yes. I live in fear of pulling the bookcase off the wall because I'm doing the Achilles heel lifts.
Yes.
And my sense of balance is stuff. I can't just do it. Some people stand there going up and down, up and down. I have to hang on to something, otherwise I'll fall over. Yes.
Anyway, enough of our
warm-ups, in dosage. So this weekend, it's a busy time for all. It's a busy time for all. I'm just actually, I don't know. Are Bedford playing this weekend? We, of course, are back in the Gallagher Premiership. And,
we are.
It'll be interesting to see who plays. Are they going to bring... Oh, of course! Yes, because the Bedford boys were trying to persuade me. They're going to Lady Bay on Friday.
Oh, of course they are, yes. Yeah.
No, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Yes, 7:45 kickoff in the gloom. No. Yes, so Bedford are at Lady Bay at Nottingham. We are playing Gloucester in the Premiership, and as I was saying, it'd be interesting to see who gets selected.
Who he puts in and where and what, and yeah.
Yeah. I had so. Thank you to everybody because Mitch is training, all right, and doing this with his finger. He wasn't looking at me; he was looking at Lewis because he was running towards Lewis. Yes, he's running around. He's like a puppy with a ball. He's having a good time. But we've been told be patient. We don't know how long it's going to take, and so the best arbiters of this are the coaching team. And Matt Lee and his medical team, let them... Although, actually, saying that, Kath Lester nearly ran me over on the... I arrived in the car park to be nearly run over by the Saints doctor. She did apologise, and she didn't actually get me. But let's let them do it. So I'm not going... Anyone who asks me on Instagram, when's he playing? I don't know! I just know he was training. Hence why I appeared in the photos. But yes, Mitch, let's hopefully we see him very soon. And he's running around with a smile on his face, which is great to see.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But let's be patient, because we were asked to be patient, and let's look after him. And we've got Tom and Archie who are buzzing about the place, along with Mr. Vyman, who I think was playing with the Blues on Saturday. So we've got.
I think he was on the bench. I think. Yeah.
So we've of course we want Mitch back. He's a world-class player, but let's trust the team of coaches and medics to do the right thing. And I think it'd be a really interesting game on Saturday. I think it'll be interesting who we field.
Yes, fascinating.
George, if you look at the number of players who've had good run-outs during the PRC, I actually think selection this week's going to be quite tough. Because there's a lot of players putting their hands up again, which is great for the coaches, because that's what they want.
And some coming back from injury as well. I mean, he's I know we've bless Robbie and Sam Graham are out, but we've got others coming back that have it's quite exciting, really.
It is very exciting. It's very exciting, and
you see, I'm thinking as well, though, you'd want somebody who's been cannon fodder for England and somewhat frustrated. Big Trev, I'm looking at you. I'd have him in, because he's going to munch people.
Although if everyone sees Curtis with gaffer tape.
Oh, to be honest, you can't. There's going to be no end of suspects.
Big Trev pulls it back, goes, okay, what? And then puts it back again.
There will be many suspects for gaffer taping Curtis's mouth, surely.
Actually, Curtis was somewhat surprised. I mean, it was an unfortunate. There's a double entendre here, ladies and gentlemen. As I was leaving the changing room, I was holding 3 cameras, and basically they were like guns pointing straight at him. And he said, "You've got 3," and I nearly went, "Have I? Where's the third come from?"
Oh, bless him.
To which he said, "You really have got all angles covered." To which I went, "Yes, I have, Curtis. Yes, I have." Yes, so I think it's going to be. We're going to see, the likes of Curtis, Big Trev. Although I think Luke Green's had a really, really good run.
Oh, he's had a really good. I've been impressed.
I think Tarek's got loads out of it. I think Manning's been a bit in and out because he was off with England Day and he was all over the show. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Manning. We've started again to have choices in the second row. You rightly have pointed out Gavin Thornbury has been on fire. Oh, yeah. We have. What? Did we mention our new?
No, we didn't.
Our new
Samoan,
because he was new, and we hadn't announced him when I saw him last week.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, what a smiley man! What a smiley and a charming man. Who grew
up. A Samoan.
It's a Samoan, yes. A Samoan whose name I have completely forgotten, which is very rude of me because he was utterly charming when I met him. Okay, is it? No, it isn't. It's Ikopo Mapu. And he is one of the smiliest men you'll meet. Obviously concentrating very hard when he was in his first training session. But he grew up with the Peacey brothers. He grew up...
well, there you are.
Yeah,
you'd have to be smiley.
He stayed with Ken and George's parents.
Wow.
What a lovely family. So, and he's clearly absolutely made up. He's injury cover for Sam Graham. Sam, get better soon. Only 2 weeks. Yeah. So he's signed on to the end of the season. And it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, he's going through all the things that they go through with fitness and whatever. But it'd be interesting to see how quickly they bring him on board. Because, really, really, really good to see you. So welcome, my friend. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who like a thigh, my God, tree trunks. And that's my husband at this point is going to be looking to the heavens. You couldn't really miss him, is all I can say. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
I
made Trocky look small in the leg department.
Blimey. We were once at Twickenham, going back decades now, early 80s, late 70s, something like that. And All Blacks were playing. Well, it was back in the day when you didn't see the All Blacks every year. It was every 3 years, 2-3 years, whatever. And the chap behind, I was sitting with my mother, and there's a couple of blokes behind, and the All Blacks came on, and they were so much bigger, it seemed, than the Northern Hemisphere teams at the time. And this bloke behind goes, "Oh my goodness me, look at their thighs." Well, I did, and I've never looked back. Very impressive. So
yes. So welcome. Yes, but as I say, I think it's going to be really interesting because I think a number of players, Tom Seabrook's had a good run out. Yeah. It's been really, really, really interesting. James Rambo had a good.
Yes.
Although he looked a bit wet, bless him. There's one photograph I took of him because he was just stood there in the deluge with the crowd behind him. With that sort of, why am I here?
Yes. I thought he looked very Australian at times on Saturday.
Yes. Angus Scott Young, talking of Australians. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So I think the coaches are going to have a busy time this week because I think a number of players are going to put their hand up, and it will be interesting to see what occurs.
Well, I will not be there because, we have an outbreak of family to celebrate my mother's 90th birthday. Happy birthday, Mother!
Happy birthday!
I sold my tickets to Mr. Rose. I think Paul Rose. Anyway, he was going to listen to Ladies Wot. I told him to. It's part of the deal. Yeah. Also, a lady at Coventry Rugby Club whose name escapes me. I was telling her about it, so she was going to listen as well. So welcome if she's found us, and welcome anybody else who's new.
Yes,
and of course,
Blues Coventry. We're big fans of the championship. You will hear
and all those lovely, all those lovely loyal listeners who've been with us for a year now.
Yeah, happy birthday, everybody.
Yeah. And thank you.
Does that mean I've got to carry the weight of expectation and watch the game properly next week?
Well, no, because it's on the telly, so I'll be able to watch it.
It's on Discovery Plus. It's not on the telly. It's on the red button. Oh no! Oh, I think I may have delivered bad news, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I don't know. Well, we'll watch it on catch-up thing anyway. We've got Discovery Plus, so.
Oh, you're all right then.
Why do they make it so hard? Why?
Well, quite.
Anyway.
Premier Sport.
Yeah, so...
Anyway. And then after Loughborough are off to Saracens. They're off to the Stonex to play Saracens. So, good luck, ladies. Give them hell.
Yeah.
There's a wind tunnel. It was 10 years to the day on Saturday that Saints beat Saracens at what was then called the Allianz Park in similarly horrific conditions, only the wind was even stronger. And we played in that lime green kit, which Dr. Jones still loves today, and James Wilson slid in for two fantastic tries. And I think Dowse may have been involved in a try as well. So yeah, all in all, it was a good day out at the at Allianz Park 10 years ago on Saturday.
Right, go do your stuff.
It was also the anniversary of that bus trip in Treviso.
Yes, yeah, it keeps coming up on my timeline, photographs from that trip to Treviso, which was memorable because we drank Treviso Rugby Club nearly out of Prosecco. The main bars, they had to go to hospitality to get us more Prosecco because we'd got vouchers for Prosecco, so we need Prosecco. And these young young barman faced with these angry women the age of their grannies beetled off and brought us the decent stuff. Then they got too much of the decent stuff, so they were just giving it to us. Please drink it and go away. And then we had that memorable bus trip with Huntingdon Choir, where I'm sure I was definitely
in their regalia. They were in their
regalia.
Yes,
but I was definitely seemed to be tucked under somebody's left armpit. So,
yes. It was one of the more bizarre trips, but great fun. Anyway, everybody, that was episode 49 of the Ladies Wot Pod. Do keep listening, do keep sharing, do keep subscribing. Push the button, give us a rating. We do love it when you come and say hello. Thank you to everybody that did. We always love a chat. Have a lovely week, everybody. And
yes, lovely. And see you next week.
See you next week for more fun and frolics.
Bye.